Questions 15 and 16 refer to the following information. The graph above displays the total cost C in dollars of renting a boat for H hours. Question 15. What does the C-intercept represent in the graph? So this is an algebra question. We're shown a line, and in a minute we're going to have to write out the equation for the line, but in order to do that, let's understand the basically the parts of this graph. So in a two-dimensional graph, you have an x and y axis, and the labels here are C, cost in dollars, and H, time in hours. And the intercept is where the line crosses the C axis or the y axis. And what does this represent? If this line is the cost of renting a boat by the hour, we see that with each hour, the amount that we have to pay, or the cost, goes up. But the initial amount, it does not start at 0. So there is a basically initial cost of renting a boat, or A for question 15. Question 16. Which of the following represents the relationship between H and C? So now they are asking us to basically solve for the equation of this line. And looking at the available answers, we can see that they want the expression in slope-intercept form, which is generically expressed as y equals mx plus b. And I will give you the basically the SAT quick method first, and then I'll go through this question in detail. So as we can see, the intercept here is 5, so we can immediately eliminate options A and D. And now be very careful, because of the two remaining choices, B and C, we have either a slope of 3/4 or a slope of 3. And as this line is drawn, the slope is actually 3/4 until we pay attention to the units on the axis, where each of these grids on the x does not represent 1, it's only a quarter. So for each hour increase, the cost increases by $3. So the answer is C. Now, breaking this down, slope-intercept form, what are the parts of this equation? So y, which is the value on this axis, is equal to the slope times the value on the x-axis plus your intercept. And the intercept is simply the point at which the line crosses the y-axis, which in this case is 5. So we're going to put that down. And instead of x, this graph here shows the variable of time h in hours, and y in this case is the cost c. So now let's look at the slope real quick. So slope is rise over run. It's a quick way to remember what slope is, and what that means is that we're trying to figure out what the change is in the y direction over the change in the x direction. So now we can use this, basically use the graph and see that the rise basically is increasing by a value of 3 between these nicely marked conveniently marked dots, we can count them out. 1, 2, 3. Now the run, here's the tricky part, and this is you'll probably see a lot of these on the SATs. They give answers that are seemingly right, which is the way it's drawn. If we just count boxes, the run or the change in the x is actually 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. So you would be very tempted to choose B, 3 over 4, until we pay attention to the label on the x-axis and see that each one of these boxes does not actually represent 1 hour. It's, as I had drawn here, 4 boxes only represents 1 hour. So the correct slope is 3 over 1, which is just 3. And that's how we come up with the answer C.